All right. So now it's time to go into the 4x4. Start with the women. This is when I put on my Gordon
Uh-oh.
hat and I got a little weird, but I got weird in a great way. And I'm ready to tell you. You want me? How about you go? You go first, and then I'll go second.
Let me
Let's
set
put
the
the run
stage
this
here.
one. Okay.
Let me set the stage and give people information about when these races are. So, prelim day 9, final is day 10 for the men's and women's 4x4s. Something important to consider. The women's 800-meter final is the same night as the 4x4. Hmm. Is there anybody in the women's 8 who might be qualified to run a leg on the 4x4? But that's the same night, only an hour and 15 minutes before. Prelims are a day after the 400 finals and the women's 4-meter hurdle final. That's the prelims. There's a lot of variability on the women's side. I only have one lock, one person I am certain will run this race. Now, should and will are two different things, but I'm only certain one person will run the final right now, which is a weird spot to be in. Ultimately, I do not think it will matter. The U.S. is deep enough. Jamaica is going to be tough, but the U.S. will be able to prevail. But Sydney McLaughlin's my only lock, Gordon. My only lock.
All right. Who's running your prelim?
Prelim. I went with the 400 squad here. Now I know the finals the night before.
Who's
The
running your
400
4x4
finals the night before.
prelim?
Irby,
Got it.
Jonathan, Ellis, Diggs. Get through nice and smooth.
Okay. Cole, you're kind of confusing them by showing that list. So just say it out loud so people. So who's your four again?
Prelims. You want my prelim list?
Yeah, prelim list.
Irby, Jonathan, Ellis, Diggs. I didn't make things any more complicated than needed.
Irby, Jonathan, Ellis, Diggs. Okay. My prelim is Ellis, Allison Felix, Dalila Muhammad, and Talitha Diggs.
All right. Interesting. We don't know. Muhammad, to me, is a big wild card because she was hurt. So we don't really know if she's going to want to do the 400 as well, what sort of shape she's going to be in coming off the 400 hurdles the night before. She's already run the final. Is she going to want to do a prelim? For our 4x4 final, I mean. Yeah. I like the Felix edition, though. I hope that means you didn't take her off the mixed 4x4, but we'll get to that later. I have the greatest mixed 4x4 idea of all
No,
time.
I
by
have
the
the
way.
greatest mix for my. You're gonna hate my.
No, I have an awesome plot twist where if it was a movie made in Hollywood, this is what would happen. All right,
All right. So if you
final.
notice, I put my final. You ready for this? I took the four women who actually have the best 4x4 split in the country. Leadoff leg, she split 48.6 this year. Britton Wilson, 400-meter hurler. Second leg, who split 48.7 this year. Abby Steiner. She did 48 twice this year. Third leg, who split 48.3 last year. A thing Mo. And then anchor, who split 48 seconds multiple times. Sydney McLaughlin. That team can run 315. So to
All right,
recap, this is
here's
my
how I have it.
I'll put in the let me put in the doc so people can see what it looks like so they can visualize this amazing 4x4.
Yeah, I mean
Cole,
that
why don't you
team would win gold.
put that up on the screen, Colt.
What's
First of all, before
interesting
you
to
give yours, where are the flaws in this setup?
I mean, the U.S. is just so deep in this event. There's no real flaws, but is Steiner going to run the 4x1, the open 2, and then the 4x4? I in her first global championships, I don't think that's going to happen. Mo again, hour and 15 minutes after the 8. Could she do it? Yeah. I'm not going to bet against a thing Mo in anything. Well, will they put her in that spot? I'm not sure. That's a pretty tight turnaround. I know in the NCAA, people double up like this a lot. So no, that's a gold medal team for
It's a
sure.
world record team. That's what that is. It's a world record team.
No, I don't know if it's a world record team, but it's a gold medal team for sure. Here's my squad.
448s. It's 4:48 women.
The world record team had 247s on it. Have you done?
Yeah,
have you
but they
looked
didn't
at the world
have
record?
2 other 48s. It had a 49
but
on there.
you're not going to split a 48 from the blocks, though, dude. You understand how relays? No one is more intoxicated with relay splits than Gordon. It's just incredible. Like, you don't understand the running start. All right.
I do understand the running start.
Here's what I have, and here's where my spreadsheet and my flow chart comes into play. All right. So I'm assuming, let's just assume that they run the open 400 group runs similar to how they did at USA's. So if they do that, that means what? Talitha Diggs will be the top US finisher. What place do you think Talitha Diggs will finish in the open quarter?
4th or 5th.
Yeah, okay, which would be a great result, right? You're going to put that person on there. So I have Talitha Diggs on there. Second leg. This is my 400-meter hurdler not named Sydney McLaughlin spot. Either Dalilah Muhammad or Britton Wilson gets that spot, depending on how they look in the 400 hurdles. Then I have Sydney, because that was easy. And then on anchor, and I would move this if it wasn't a thing mo. I have a thing mo, unless she's completely gassed from the 8, or Abby Steiner, or insert 400-meter runner that ran out of their mind and made the final and ran 49 high. So maybe that's Kendall Ellis, maybe that's somebody else, or I guess it would be Irby be the only other person if we already have Jonathan's. But this one is extremely fluid. If I had to predict right now, I would say Diggs, Wilson, McLaughlin, Mo would be my team.
Yeah, and I'm going Wilson, Steiner, Mo, McLaughlin.
Yeah. That being said, though, the selection does usually favor veteran athletes. And if you don't believe me, look at the first 2 global championships and see that Allison Felix's name was not involved in the relays. Now we just take it as an afterthought that she'll be on every relay, but that wasn't always the case. So someone like Wilson, someone like Steiner, you could see them not getting it just based on quote unquote, experience. Even though it's a 4x4.
So stupid. It's two women who have split 48 seconds publicly multiple times, and they're going to take a 50.2 woman instead. It's so stupid.
I will say last year, it worked out well for them. Remember, we talked about how that decision could get real messy, but it worked out perfectly because you had Felix getting the bronze, so you're not going to leave her off, and then you had the 3 non-400-meter runners in there as well. Wilson, I think, has a better case than Steiner just because she has that open time that is so good. 50. Like, is she still in the top? I think she might still be in the top.
50.
Like 4. Yeah. So even if you're just saying, hey, let's go up based off season best, she's right there in the mix. But I do love your math here. You took everybody's flying start and applied it to how they would run and came up with 314.50. Blocks don't matter.